The Tier 1 Satellarknights are back, guys, and I am here to show you how it's done. Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you don't know who I am Satellarknight. If you have any doubts on who I am, go back to my channel all the way down to the bottom, see the first video posted. And it will be a Stellarknight deck profile back when the glory days with a heavy back row deck against you know, like back when the deck wasn't that good, you know, and I tried to make it work. But they are back, they're in full power, at least I think so. And I have a amazing spice to share with you guys, so don't forget to smash that subscribe button, leave a comment down below if you enjoy this type of content. And I am here to do this specific deck breakdown, a deck profile plus some combos to show Mr. Cali Effect what this deck is capable of. Also, guys, don't forget to check out the video that's going to be posted at the end of the month. It's going to be my 1-year anniversary of this channel, and that means Duelist Alliance is going to be cracked open on YouTube, and it's going to be facing against the Cyberstorm Axis. Two Stellarknights clashing together to see which one reigns supreme. Also, don't forget, this Sunday I will be doing live matches against the meta where the Stellarknights are ready to take Worlds again, like they did back in the day. So, without further ado, let's jump into the deck profile, guys, and let me show you what I got. I got 3 copies of Stellarknight the Neb from Duelist Alliance, self-explanatory. You got your Stellarknight Lirin, goes hand in hand with the Neb. This is what Cali Effect refers to as a turn skip. Turn skip, a pretty interesting concept. I don't know any other deck that does that yet. If any other deck did do that, it would automatically be a tier 1. I don't know. There might be some unfavoritism going on here, some personal vendetta, but that's okay. Although it's not as consistent as they claim, when it is consistent, it ends duels right away. Again, I don't know what other deck does that. This deck does it. I think that's pretty amazing. But let's not forget, me being a Stellarknight duelist, I wanted to explore more on what this deck is capable of, and it sets a pretty amazing board. But if you guys are interested in turn skip, these are the 2 card combos that you need to start with. You got 2 copies of Altair, all you need, one for Isolde Recycle, and then the other one with Deltaros Loop. Okay, you got 1 Unukalai, and with Unukalai you'll be dumping Altairin. That's going to be exclusively the target for Unukalai. That's all that she's going to be good for in this deck. No offense, Unukalai. You got your 1 copy of Vega. She's still pretty solid, not as explosive as she once was, because there's Lirin is like the better version of it, but still pretty good. Your Satellarknight Sirius is a great card. The value does go up of it because at the end you get to recycle 5 Stellarknight monster cards, I believe. Is it Stellarknight cards? Monsters, unfortunately. But yeah, monsters are still come pretty handy. And then you draw a card. So pretty good card. For your Constellar cards, Caduceus, the value of this card does go up indeed because it searches the best spell card in your deck. And it's rank 4 extender essentially. Don't forget, it has an XC effect. If this card battles a light or dark monster before damage calculation, you can banish that monster. I feel like it gets over more cards than it's giving credit to, and sometimes we forget about that effect. I forget it, I'm guilty of. The one Constellar that I am trying not to see in my draw is Sheraton. At first I thought with Twinkle this card would be good, but it's just so bricky with Twinkle. It does search Caduceus, but you do not want to see this guy. You want to banish this off of the new Constellar Caduceus card and recycle and go for Caduceus instead, okay? So you want to get this guy out of your deck as soon as possible. No offense. Here's the spice, okay? You got your Mathmech diameter, you got your triple circulars, and you got your Nabla. This is the new Mathmech engine that I'm playing here. Aside from being lights, they're also level 4s, synergize perfectly with Stellarknights. And it's funny that, side note for all you Mathmech duelists out there, you know, it's crazy that the moment this deck starts performing well and clapping all these top meta decks, they want Circular banned. Why? Because it's a cheap deck that can beat out all those secret rare prints of every other one of those decks and like destroys them. So all of a sudden, all these YouTubers that are like banned Mathmech. I know what's his name, Joshua Schmidt, or great guy, great guy. He doesn't like Mathmechs. Why? Because they don't make sense to him. Because they put in work. I I love this engine. This engine is a staple in my deck now. I think they overtook the Bestials for sure. If you guys want to run Bestials, you can, but I'm running the Mathmech engine as of now, and I'll tell you why later. 3 Sakitamas, extender level 4. You don't need Akitamas or the other one, the red one. It's a brick. Sakitama is a free normal summon, perfectly synergizes with this deck. For the hand traps, let's get to the hand traps, guys, shall we? You got 3 Ghost Ogres, freshly added to the deck. I was so sure about it, but I think it's a mandatory card in today's meta. 3 Droll and Logbird, because every deck loses to Droll and Logbird, not just the Stellarknights. Who would have thought? Point made, right? I mean, whatever. And then one brick of the deck that's absolutely necessary is your Renaud. This is for your Isolde play. I mean, you don't want to see him, and you kind of got to pivot if you do draw him. But if you don't, it's full combo time, baby. 2 Sky Bridges for your spell cards. This can push for game at times, because when you're in battle phase, you can actually tag out your Satellarknight from the extra deck, or I mean, an extra deck Satellarknight into your regular ones, or vice versa, and then kind of poke for more damage, and then remember to always overlay that monster that you bring out with Skybridge first. It's also great for dodge and imperm. I forgot to mention that previously, because imperm targets, and this kind of takes that target away. So remember, Skybridge is essential, and it's a great interruption during your opponent's turn, because if you guys are not aware, Alteran triggers whenever a new Stellarknight is summoned to the field, and it pops cards. I remember I popped up to 3 cards because I was able to bring Alteran onto the field and interrupt my opponent. So remember, double Skybridge is mandatory. 2 is enough because you can recycle them easily. 3 Constellar Stellarknights. I underestimated this card, to be fair. I used to play it at 1 because I thought you only needed ones, but no. Seeing this card helps tremendously because it lets you special summon Stellarknight from either your hand or the graveyard. One thing Stellarknights lack is the special summoning, but this kind of brings it more consistency, and it's searchable. I don't mind having an extra copy in the deck because I can get rid of it with Sign It Mining. Usually want to play this card first to bait out any hand traps, because after that you can play through it because it doesn't bother you. Believe it or not, Droll and Lock does not affect this deck as much as it does with super heavies, because you can still play through it. 1 copy of Reinforcements, 1 copy of Cold Buy, and 1 copy of Living Fossil. Living Fossil is not as much of a brick as you guys think it might be. It brings a level 4 back from the grave, and that kind of extends your plays. So not as bad as Renaud for sure. Your trap cards, triple imperms. The more I play this card, the more I realize that it's better during my opponent's turn to bait them out than it is during my turn. It's kind of, call me crazy, but it feels like unless you're hitting a branded player, it feels a little too slow, because people have ways to play around it now that it tickles. Super Factorial, an amazing trap card, guys. This guy brings out your Trishula during your opponent's turn, clean a field, clean a hand, clean a back row. So I mean, does it all. Let's jump into the extra deck, guys. We got 2 copies of your Stellarknight, Constellar Caduceus. Self-explanatory, don't need to tell you the effect, you already know it. Stellarknight Deltarose, this guy is mandatory in the deck because it can basically keep bringing out Stellarknights from your deck until you're blue in the face. Dark Stellarknight Battlemas, has a secret effect. It's not so much of a secret effect, but it's tricky because you want to bring this guy out at the end, because once you use its effect to bring a Stellarknight out monster, you're locked. So you kind of want to bring this guy out at the end, or if you do bring him out, don't activate his effect because it's optional. So the first effect is detach this card, bring out a Stellarknight monster from your, so you can bring out Trigger, Deltarose, or Caduceus. The other effect is all the monsters on the field become dark, and that makes Diamond even more of a menace, because now no deck can play. Branded, they are crying in the corner because this guy prevents you from activating, not this guy, but Diamond prevents you from activating Branded Fusion, because you cannot send cards from deck to graveyard. Your Stellarknight Ptolemaeus, this guy is exclusively for my turn skip and nothing else. You guys can play a variant if you want. I mean, Baguska does well in this deck too. You guys can run that. I don't. Possibilities are endless on what you can do and what you can put in. This is the variant I'm running, so let me know in the comments down below if you like this version. M7 is your step up for on top of your Caduceus. That way you can activate the spell card and overlay different Stellarknight on top of it. It's up to you. You can go Diamond on top of this and have 5 negate Diamond, guys. What is Branded gonna do? They're not gonna do shit. They're gonna scoop. They're gonna go to game 2. Which brings me to my next point. Your Satellarknight Constellar Diamond. I like that it has both names because that means it pertains to both archetypes, which is amazing. Oh, did I forget to touch up on Dark Stellarknight Battle Mist's effect? If there is, I think, 7 Stellarknights in the grave, it becomes a quick effect. Yeah, 7 or more Stellarknight monsters with different names. I feel like it's not gonna come up as much, but something to keep an eye out. You can interrupt during your opponent's turn. It has the potential at least to do that. Stellarknight Diamond is a total beast. You guys know what it does. I don't need to go over it. So that's their lineup. Then you got your Gaga Magician that kind of gives you Utopic Draco Future. You can either run this guy or you can choose to run a bunch of rank 4s alongside Cyber Dragon Infinity. That's also an option. For me, this works better. This is a tower with a potential 4,000 attack point plus a monster takeaway. Your Zeus is your final kind of generic XC, and then, you know, you already know what it does. You played against it, you lost to it before. You got your 2 Prime Mathmech XCs. You got Alan Bershin and you got the Laplation. Hopefully I'm pronouncing those right. These guys are mandatory in the deck. 1 of each is good enough. And then you got your 1 copy of Isolde and then 1 copy of Appaloosa. Appaloosa over Mech Knight Crusadia? I think so. I really think so. Unless I run into Chaos Angel, then that might be a little bit tricky, but luckily I haven't done so yet. But then not a lot of cards get over Chaos Angel. Let's go into the extra deck. It's not finalized yet, but this is what I'm planning to take to my locals. You got 3 Dark Ruler No Mores, and this is a first because this is something you guys are not used to. If you were wondering where Trevor was, this is where he was. It's unorthodox, I know. However, Trevor's locks you into Stellarknights the turn it's summoned, or the turn that you're planning to summon him, which sucks. But its effect is amazing. Once it hits the field, it just throws back everything into opponent's hand. You discard a card, you send a card from their hand to the graveyard. Clear elements are no longer a thing, so this card's still good. And then it has a floating effect. When it goes to the graveyard, it summons back a Stellarknight monster into the field, which triggers Alteran, and I can go on and on and on till I'm blue in the face. The reason is with Dark Ruler No More, that way it can shut the field down, you bring this guy, bounce everything back to the extra deck, and now you can play. So he belongs in the extra deck, unfortunately. I wish he didn't have that limitation. 3 evenly matched. Self-explanatory. This is to push for game if you're running against the clock. Awesome is awesome. If you summon this guy, it burns for 1,000 points of damage, straight up, if this card is summoned. So you can keep poking your opponent, keep linking them off. I think it's once per turn, but I mean during your opponent's turn you can activate this effect anyway. You got your Bestials. I think this is what I want to run for now. Against I'm not really scared of what do you call it? Branded, and I feel like they can play around Bestials at this point, but this is what I'm running with for right now. I mean, they're good against other dark decks as well. And then 3 copies of the Kira Divin Carnate. The Bestials might actually come out for more of the Kaijus for this guy, but she is an amazing card. She can break any board, especially with a lot of decks nowadays interacting during your turn. I mean, you can take over you can get rid of Baron easily. You can get rid of, and not to mention, it's like when multiple monsters, like, so if they go into chain links, all those monsters are gone and you can play freely. So that's why she's at $50 right now. Well deserved. So I'm gonna mix this up right now and I'm gonna give you guys a couple test hands, see what this deck is capable of. Cali Effect, I hope you're watching. Unless I do not pull very well. In this case, I hope you're not watching and just scroll through your videos and make another tier list of hand traps, which I'll be looking at because I'm a huge fan of yours. Okay. By the way, I hope you got my dual invite. I mean, you're in Vegas, I'm in Los Angeles. It's not that far of a drive. We can make it happen. Alright, so let's say hypothetically we're going first. because I don't have opponent at the moment. So let's say we are going first. So we're gonna start with Nabla, a circular. Looks like we're going into our Mathmech engine. Did I not shuffle this? Okay. Do I play through this or do I just scoop at this point? Whoo! This does not give me anything. God damn, I almost want to scoop this up. Okay. Let's see if we can somehow play through this. Circular, let's dump. Jesus Christ, if you ever had a bad hand, that's what it looks like. You're gonna dump this bad boy off. You're gonna normal summon this guy. You can tribute this guy. Summon another circular just to thin the deck at this point, because boy oh boy was this rough of an opening. What do I want to do here? Okay, now I want to go into a 4. Let's open up our hand a little bit. This is gonna be a weak ass board, but not a very. This is like worst hand possible. I'm just playing through this because I'm not gonna do any cutscenes and be like, oh, this never happened. I always draw godly. You're gonna detach. You're gonna banish Sheraton. Let's get Sheraton out so you can special summon Caduceus. Now we're playing a little bit, and with Caduceus effect, you get your Stellarknights to hand. You're gonna go ahead and overlay. This is making something out of nothing, okay, guys? You're gonna activate your Stellarknights. It would have been nice to have a monster to target, but we don't. But we can go into Deltaros, activate its effect to self-pop. And to bring out your Alteran. Alteran, not Alteran. That brings back Deltaros. And you're gonna make your... Ooh, I can't even... I shouldn't even go to... Because I have this guy, so now I kind of have to pivot. Now I have to pivot. I mean, you could just sit... Oy, oy, oy. What can you sit on here? I could have done that. Because if this is the case, I don't want to bring this guy back. I'll probably want to push for more interruptions. So maybe her, and she can dump off Alteran. Yeah, I think that's the play. You go 2 here. You're gonna skip right into Gaga Gaga Gaga. Now if you're playing the dark deck, this works better. Because now you get to bring out Deltaros. Deltaros effect brings out Alteran. And you go into your 4. It might not look much, because it isn't much. You got a Utopic Drake of Future and you just got an Alteran, but you have a Mathmech trap card during your opponent's turn. Hopefully that slows them down a little bit. But this is why I play Draco Future over the Omni Negate one, because Draco Future is still a tower, so a lot of people have a hard time getting over it unless you kaiju it. So that was a very short turn, because I was limited in my plays there. So yeah, so does the deck brick? I guess it has its bricks. I mean, but when it bricks, it's not even a real brick that you're like, okay, I set a card pass. You can still make a tower with an interruption during your opponent's turn. That's what Mathmech Engine brings to this. And let's just go ahead and try again. You get 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your hand loop. I mean, your turn skip. I could demonstrate the turn skip, but we've been through it so many times already. I don't want to do it again. If you guys want to see that, go out to my other video. What you want to do here... What do I want to do here? I can go Signet Mining. by sending one of the Denebs to the grave. This will bring back Circular to my hand, and I use its effect by dumping Nabla to the grave. So let me put it here so you guys can see it. Okay, so now that's established. This is when you normal summon Deneb and then you chain link into Liren. You go, and then Deneb will resolve first, and then Liren will get you Skybridge. The reason I'll show you why I'm going for Skybridge. And now you want to get Unukalai with Deneb. Here's the play. You go into 2-4. You go into your first rank 4. This is going to be a much better board, guys. The first one was a little rough. You go Caduceus. You want to hold off its effect for now. The first effect that recycles. You're going to detach Liren. You're going to banish... where is he? Where are you? Sheraton. Okay. Sheraton gets banished. It adds... Caduceus to your hand, which special summons itself, and Caduceus will add you your yeah, Caduceus special summons itself, and the Caduceus will add you your Stellarknight and Stellarknights. So now that that's in play, man, so many plays, so many options. Let's get Sheraton out of the way. So this is your graveyard, so you have Caduceus. You have this guy and this guy. Okay. So, you go Constellar Stellarknights. You're going to special summon Unukalai. Unukalai's effect will dump Alteran. So now you have an extra resource in the grave. Man, this board is looking nasty. Okay. You go Skybridge to tag out your Caduceus. Who do I want to bring? I mean, I can bring Vega, I guess, because I used most of them up already. Should I go another? Because I don't want to go into... You want to save your Altair play. So Liren, but that's okay, because Liren is already activated, but that triggers the effect of Alteran. So this is your 5 right here, turn skip, technically. But we're not doing that, right? Because we want to show a different play here. Use the monster that you use Skybridged first to get that out of the way. Let's get 2 of the non-warriors. I mean, one non... You want to keep Circular on here because you want to go into Caduceus effect. Now use it. When it's summoned, it gets to recycle Skybridge and Liren back to your hand. Gives you back hand power. Remember, you still have Ghost Ogre. So now this is your follow-up for next turn. This is your follow-up for next turn. So now you're gonna overlay these 2. No. Silly me. Don't overlay yet. Let's resolve Caduceus first, okay? Let's go into our M7 step up and then activate Constellar Stellarknights into Deltaros. Deltaros self poppity pop. Let's use up our... You're going to use all the Stellarknights effects in here. I'm telling you, this deck is cracked. This deck is underrated and underappreciated. Altair brings back Deltaros. This is where you link off into your Isolde. Please ignore the lighting. Just use your imagination. That's Isolde. Here, I'll bring everything down for you guys so you guys can see. How's that? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Chainlink 1 is going to be your Deltaros, very important. Chainlink 2 is going to be your Isolde. So let's resolve Isolde. Will give us another Altair back in our hand to follow up on a next turn. So Altair comes to your hand. And then with Deltaros, you get to summon a Stellarknight monster. Would you look at that? The one card that we did not use was Vega. And I'm glad that we didn't, because Vega, when it's summoned, gets to special summon a Stellarknight, which will be Liren. Remember, you cannot use Altair anymore this turn because of Isolde's effect. Which reminds me, Isolde's second effect. Let's dump Living Fossil. No, wait, let's not do that yet. because you do not want to. Yeah, you don't want to play with that. Let's clean this up a little bit. You got to play careful because you couldn't activate its effect. So let's go 2 here. Let's go into Prime Mathmech Alimbertion. And when this guy's summoned, I get to detach 2 cards from it and add a Mathmech card. So that'll be Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. You get to add the trap card, and you get to add a Mathmech diameter to your hand. Okay? So your hand is feeling thick right now. Okay? It's 5 cards. It's almost like as if nothing ever happened. You get to tribute summon this guy and special summon from a Mathmech from your hand or graveyard. So what you want to do is you want to tribute summon him. Tribute him. And you're going to summon your diameter. You know now that I'm thinking? Let's put diameter back. That would be the right play. Let's add off of this guy. Let's add circular again. Let's keep diameter in the deck because you get to tribute him. That would be the right play. Tribute him, bring back Nabla, Nabla's effect to tribute itself, and now you bring out diameter. There you go, that's the play. Okay? Whoo! This hand, man. And now we're not done yet because Isolde. Now you activate Isolde. You send her. You bring back Infernoble Knight, Renaud. Renaud's effect gets you Living Fossil back. You're still playing, man. You're still playing. Okay? Now, what do we want to do here? We go 2. Yeah, this would be here technically. We go 2. Let's go these 2. Let's go the non-Stellarknight route. Gaga Magician. You... No. You go these 2. Okay? You go Gaga Magician. Yeah. Gaga Magician, you detach. I just want to make sure I have 5 Stellarknights. Gaga Magician detach, you get to bring out Deltaros for its final time, its final form. And from here you go 1, 2, 3. Let's keep this one. 3 and 4. Let's go for that. Let's go for the big guns. Let's go for 4 negate Appaloosa, which is cracked. Deltaros effect resolves for the final time, getting you Sirius. Sirius effect activates. You're gonna shuffle 5 Stellarknights. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, so many options. I guess I was worried for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess, yeah. So you get 5 Stellarknights back into your deck. 2 go into the extra deck, so you're recycling there. 3 go in here. You shuffle and you +1, okay? Signet Mining. Not bad. Imperm usually does better. You go 2 4s here. What do I want to do here? Do I want to go diamond? Depends against my matchup, I guess. But if I'm not worried about cards from deck to graveyard, then I go 2 4s here. I go into Ptolemaeus, and then you just overlay all of this stuff together. So 3200 4 negate Appaloosa, Utopic Draco Future, and you got the Mathmech trap card for next turn. You got Living Fossil that you don't need necessarily still. I could have went the diamond route if I had a 2400 Appaloosa, but I think this is pretty good time to end my turn. And you still have full-on resources for next turn. This hand can certainly follow up and can certainly be better. So this is like what the surface is for Satellarknights, not the ceiling. Okay, this is what the potential is. The deck is amazing. The deck is consistent. The deck works wonders, guys, and the Mathmech engine certainly brings more consistency to it. I want to wrap up this video, guys, because I don't want to bore you too long. Don't forget to check in this Sunday for the live match. Thank you guys for all the support you've been showing me. I truly appreciate you putting up with my ridiculousness and my persistence in making Stellarknights the new meta for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Have a good night, and I will see you later.